So let's talk about something that's both fascinating and, honestly, a little bit scary. Gen Z's digital double life. Today, we're diving into the work of writer Kesari Babu to understand how a whole generation is living one life on screen and a completely different one off of it. Let's get right into it. It really all boils down to this one very modern question. I mean, have you ever felt that? Like you feel a stronger connection to an influencer you watch every day than to the actual person sitting right across from you? Well, we're about to figure out exactly why that happens. Okay, so to really get this, we have to look at the incredible pull of the screen. It's so much more than just entertainment, right? It's become this place where we form these new kinds of friendships, even if they're almost completely one-sided. And there's actually a term for this. It's called a parasocial relationship. You know the feeling that you really know your favorite YouTuber or that streamer you follow? You feel like you're friends, but they literally have no idea who you are. It's this incredibly powerful emotional bond that, well, it only flows in one direction. And here's where it gets really interesting. Research is showing that these one-sided connections can sometimes feel even better at meeting our emotional needs than our casual real-life acquaintances. Now, they're no replacement for your best friends, of course, but they definitely serve a purpose, kind of filling in the social gaps. And you have to understand, this feeling doesn't just happen by accident. Oh no, it is by design. These platforms are built to create what Babu calls a sense of intimacy and familiarity. Think about it. Vlogs, daily stories, curated posts, we're invited into their lives 24/7. So it's really no wonder we end up feeling like we're part of it all. Okay, so this super deep connection to the screen has created this massive shift in how Gen Z communicates. They can be incredibly witty and articulate online, but then surprisingly quiet when you meet them in person. And the data on this is, wow, it's just staggering. A full 75% of Gen Z would rather text than talk on the phone. And this isn't just some small preference. It's a complete change in how we communicate, putting the keyboard way ahead of the human voice. So, why? Why the big shift? Well, as Kesari Babu puts it, it's because Gen Z has found a powerful voice in the digital realm. I mean, it makes sense. Online, you've got all the control. You can edit, you can rethink, you can craft the perfect response in a way that messy, spontaneous, real-time conversation just never lets you do. And this is where you get this central paradox. These amazing, vibrant online personalities can really clash with what happens face-to-face. It leads to what Babu calls the silent stairs phenomenon. That fluency they have online, it just doesn't always show up offline, and that disconnect can be really jarring. So what happens when these two separate worlds smash into each other? This is where our story takes a much more serious turn, because the consequences can be devastatingly, tragically real. I want you to just take a second and really let this number sink in. 50%. According to studies, that's how many teenagers in the US have been bullied online. 1 out of every 2. This is not some fringe problem. It's an absolute epidemic, and it's happening on the screens they carry in their pockets every single day. In his reporting from Telangana, India, Babu documented the heartbreaking real-world cost of this digital disconnect. And as you can see from these cases, what starts online, whether it's harassment from classmates or just putting your trust in the wrong person, can spiral into sextortion, financial ruin, and even, tragically, suicide. This is exactly where that false intimacy we talked about becomes so dangerous. A connection that feels real and private to a young person can become a weapon in the hands of an exploiter. The line between online drama and real-world harm gets terrifyingly thin, with consequences you can never take back. So that was heavy. The big question is, what's the answer? It's not about throwing our phones away. It's about learning how to navigate both of these worlds. It's all about finding a healthier balance. You know, the research on this is becoming pretty undeniable. Sure, digital communication is easy and convenient, but face-to-face interaction is a way better predictor of positive mental health. And why is that? Because it's richer. You get tone, you get body language, you get all these little human cues that are just completely lost in a text message. And this brings us to Kesari Babu's main piece of advice. And honestly, it's powerful. In a world that is screaming for our attention 24/7, he urges us to embrace the power of disconnection, to actually intentionally put the screen down and step back into our real-world lives and relationships. And that kind of leaves us with one last thing to chew on. We're always thinking about digital skills and online presence as these modern superpowers. But maybe, just maybe, in a world that is always on, the greatest strength we can possibly build is knowing when and how to log off.